Hey, we're here.
We're
We made it. Welcome to all of you. We finally made it happen. Let's celebrate a little bit here. Yay! Yes, we did it. Wow, what an adventure.
Well, you did it. We just have the privilege of joining you. You did all of this.
Well, thank you. I mean, but it's been harder to get people to because we had so many technical difficulties, and I don't think it has anything to do with the world itself. I think that Horizons is still working out some issues because it's new, right? It's new. So I want to get your first impressions. What do you think of the L&D University MetaCampus?
It's amazing. I mean, it's unbelievable and exciting.
Yeah. What's your sense? How do you feel this interaction is going on? Do you feel like, does it feel good? Does it feel weird? And what do you think? What is it?
Well, I think I would have benefited from practicing a little bit more. I couldn't do it last night. But it feels like, I think it's an interesting way. It almost feels like you're in the same room, a little bit different than if there was like a Zoom or a Teams training.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways it's going to be us getting accustomed to this new way of communicating, right? Because we're not used to this, right? We're not used to seeing cartoons communicate back with us, right? We're not used to that.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be a learning curve, not only for those of us who are putting these worlds together, but for people who are joining. And I think the more that you are a part of it, the better. I think the better it is. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I feel like we have to stay current, and who knows if this will be a part of our new normal. So
yeah. So
thank you for having us be a part of it.
I connected with Tony, and Tony actually is a professor out in California, and she started working with social media first, and now she's doing social media and VR. And so, Tony, what's been your experience so far? First of all, how long have you been doing this, and what's your experience so far?
Okay, so I teach at the community college level in Central California, and mainly for the last 10 years I've taught social media, and it seems that virtual reality is obviously the next step for us to be taking in education. I think COVID brought that around faster than it would have come, but virtual reality it provides that extra immersive experience far beyond Zoom, right? So you can be in the room, we can be here together. It feels like we've actually been somewhere together, rather than staring at a Zoom screen. So my what I'm doing right now is I've set up some virtual reality classroom environment, a little bit like a campus where we have a lobby and so on, not here in Worlds. In a different platform, and I've had meetings there, and I've actually been doing some recording, not podcasting. I've taught podcasting, but not inside of these worlds. But I've been doing recording there to kind of introduce my students to this 3D arena, and if they do have headsets available, then they're obviously welcome to join me in office hours and things like that. I can't require this kind of thing right now in the classroom because I have to jump through all the hoops,
right,
of curriculum committees and what have you. But there are a lot of our students that are, have been gamers, so they are used to using headsets already. And of course, then you have the other environment where they can be looking through their cell phones and joining from a cell phone screen.
Yeah.
So it's new for a lot of us. It's not as new for some of our students. But I just think it's amazing. I love that we can just meet people from anywhere and be in the same room and have that feeling of being somewhere together.
Yeah.
It's just so much different than being on a video screen.
Yeah, think about it. You have California, North Carolina, Miami, and from upstate New York, Western New York.
Monica, you were talking about the augmented reality. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing there?
Yeah, so we have so some of our clients that are global, or they have employees that are still working in an office or on site. That just in time training, instead of having like an article or a website they have to go through to, we're using AR to where they're on site. Let's say they see something on the wall or on the floor, they're not sure. They can click into the app and they'll pull up a quick video or some text explaining what they have or what they need. Especially with sales, which has been really cool. Like they're trying to help a client not understanding anything, something can pop up and show them. So it's been really cool to see.
So they have to use their own device to show the client, or the client can do it out of their own device. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is cool. Yeah, that is
yes. But not like this. We're still next level, what you're showing us today.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is that closeness, I think.
Yeah. I think eventually what's going to happen is it's going to be so, I think that the virtual world and the real world are just it's really going to be augmented. You're not going to, I know that Microsoft is working on their own platform. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Mesh. Oh, she went away.
She left.
She'll come back. So Mesh is actually, an experience where you can be as yourself in your own office, create a meeting, right? Like a Teams meeting, and people can join you, either as an avatar or, so it's a real person with an avatar, and you can pull, projects that you're working on and just like open it up in the middle of the air and expand them and then look at them that way. It's wow. Really, really wild. And they do it through not a headset like this, but it's like an augmented reality, glasses, right? And so they can still see out, they can still see the real world. And in fact, I think, Meta is working on that for later on this year. I'm hoping that'll be really awesome because it'll be augmented, right? So maybe there's a feature that if I'm in full VR, I can turn that on and then experience this. But maybe there'll be a situation where I'm going to be in an augmented reality where it's either I have a couple of real life people in front of me and then a couple of avatars, joining the meeting, right? So I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
It kind of looks like reminds me of like the CSI stuff, like how they pull up the screen and they're swiping away.
What was
the
name?
That.
What was the title of that movie?
Minority Report.
Minority Report. That's right. Where Matt Damon is like no, it was not Matt Damon. It was Tom Cruise, right? Tom Cruise, Minority. Yeah, Tom Cruise. So he's like doing all the things in midair. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
It'll be helpful too for dispersed teams, that are working across the globe, or California and New Hampshire. Yeah. That way, you can get people in the same room.
I mean, think about it. Think about even now this experience, right? I mean, North Carolina, upstate New York, Miami, and I feel like very engaged with you ladies here. I feel like we're having a very good conversation. And so this is awesome. I think this is great. I've spent so much alone time creating this. I mean, my wife can attest to this. Hours upon hours upon hours it's taken to create this.
I believe it.
I'm hearing
you had, even with moving elevators, you had.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hearing static. So and when my first rendition of this world, I had elevators that took people up and down, and I brought Monica. Monica got she got sick, so I
sick.
Yeah, super bad. Well, bloopers in a couple of years. But then I thought to myself, if this is a virtual world, why create why replicate everything from the real world, right? So I mean, right.
Yeah.
So I decided to create these portals that, just take you anywhere, to anywhere in the, I can create portals that allow me to move from here to any of the pods.
Oh, so like you can be more futuristic,
So
basically.
and so I'm being cognizant of people like like you, Monica, my wife. That you get motion sickness. I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is create multiple portals in each pod, so you can just go through the portal and end up in the other classroom with it. Because if you suffer from motion sickness, then maybe that even that walking across the campus may get you sick, right? So who knows?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah, it did.
It did, right?
But I like your idea of thinking, because even like people who, like, if you imagine you have an annual conference with your company, and you have people that don't like to be, or like they're shy, or they don't want to like to be in crowds. I feel like this may also provide a better environment for them, because they can still feel like they're a part of the community. They can still engage, but they're not being restricted by some of the challenges that they have.
Absolutely. And the other segment of the population that we need to be mindful of is people with disabilities, right? Think about it. I mean, when you have a conference, or it's sometimes it's tough for people to, who are bound maybe to, to a wheelchair, or it's maybe tougher for them, especially in creating, like one of the things that I'm doing right now is designing team activities that can be done in the metaverse. People with disabilities would be it would be impossible for them to participate, but maybe through VR, right? They'll be able to join and do just about everything that anybody else can do, right?
That'll be interesting to see. And can they? I wonder if VR, if the headsets have been accommodated for people who are blind or have low vision.
Yeah, that's
But I could see people who are, may have autism or some other neurological differences. There could be a lot of benefits for conferences or meeting like this.
Yeah. And people who have, maybe social anxieties, right? And, sometimes they feel like they have to pull away from interacting. Again, this is early on. And so who knows what, now we're beginning to research this whole phenomenon. Let's see what we find out in the next few years. The statistics say that this is really going to take off by 2025. So we're almost there, right?
We're ahead of the game.
We're a little bit ahead of the game, I think. And by the way, Horizon Worlds, the vast majority of the worlds that they have, that people are creating are for like entertainment, right? Like for, fun and games and, silly stuff, right? I mean, a lot of kids, when you go to some of those worlds, you see adult, avatars, and then it's just kids, kids' voices.
Playing around.
Really weird. Sort of when Anne, your avatar came on the scene, and it was your son's voice. That was freaky,
Yeah.
His voice is a little deeper than my avatar. Reggie, you mentioned that you spent hours creating this, and it is huge. How complex has it been to learn how to build this world?
It's been a challenge, and it's a lot of trial and error, and I cannot, I guess, my wife is very patient, and she knows that we're in business for ourselves now. And so so all my efforts are to create this, see what's coming in learning and development, and how we can maybe, help, right? The next wave of training in whatever forms it comes. It was tough, and it was very, very frustrating. But once you understand the basics, then I wouldn't say it's easier, but it certainly, but it's still hours upon hours. I mean, I've been clocking just on this project, not anything else that I'm doing. I've been clocking 10, 12, 14-hour days, getting up super early, going to bed really late, and and I still feel like every time I come in, I get a new idea of maybe what to do and how to make it better. And by the way, that's why I want to bring more people into this world. So because that's going to be my gauge, right? What people think about it and how they feel about it. And so, it'll be very interesting.
I think you might have to start training people. Like you talked about setting up templates, but I think even training people how to use this from an L&D perspective.
Yeah.
Like I remember last time you had like a lounge and a podcast center and like all these different learning spaces.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's funny. I took a course, a very rudimentary course, at MIT on VR, XR, and AR. And the weird thing about it is that it was not done in virtual reality. I think that would have been, it would have been right. And so what I was thinking, about doing is, if we're gonna discuss topics and learn topics about VR and AR, why not do it?
Yeah, experiential learning
in this setting, right? And so that's coming. I'm trying to get the word out, and this is where I'm counting on, maybe the podcast and people, maybe generating some excitement. I'm not, the first few classes, I'm not gonna. Hold on a second.
Tony's back, I think.
Yeah, Tony's probably still.
Yeah, I'm back.
How do you
you're back.
know?
I can hear you.
But I'm in the lobby.
Okay, you know how to get back, right?
No.
Yeah, you have to walk through in between that open.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha. I remember. Yeah, I'll find my way over to you. Then.
Yeah, so that's the other.
That's really interesting.
I'm not gonna put that in the recording because I don't want to give it away.
I gotcha.
how to get here, but I created a secret passage, right, to get from the lobby to the actual campus. And the reason for that is that, again, these worlds are being visited by a lot of people and mainly kids. And I cannot stand it. Sometimes it's so annoying. You have little kids, like
they can just
silly.
come in here.
Yeah, they can just come in here. But by creating that buffer, like if this was an open world where when you came into this world, you spawn in here, anybody could come in here. But what I did was
Why can't you make it the world private?
I don't know if that's a good question. I don't know if that's I think if you make it private, then people cannot find you. It's only by invitation. Yeah. So, but I think this works too.
Another best practice is don't have anything like that's private, like any information, like company information.
Right.
Because if anyone can come in here, like I wouldn't have like the financials displayed on the wall somewhere or something.
Right.
That would be another one.
Great point, Monica.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even with the buffer that I created, it still wouldn't be prudent to leave those things out. Again, I think that this medium is more for, like, if you were in a Zoom call, right? You talk about business and strategy. And now, we'll see how Monica feels, but I'll give you a tour of of the place.
Oh, no, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, she's
I did get a little nauseous earlier.
Did
I
you?
got a little nauseous earlier when I was practicing with my son. So I'll just be careful about that.
So what I'll do is
go in slow motion.
Yeah, we'll walk to the edge and I'll point to you the other pods. And I promise that the next time you join me here, and hopefully we can do this again soon, actually, I'll have those portals that can take us to all the different ones. So again, I'm being mindful of people who have motion sickness. But it's too bad because there's a lot of details in between each of the pods that I've put a lot of love and so much work into it that I want people to I want people to enjoy.
You have to find some non-motion sickness people.
No, there's Tony. Hi, Tony.
Tony, welcome back, hey, Tony.
Yeah, we missed you.
I had a network outage.
You see, that's what I was telling them. Yeah, I was telling them that you guys were having problems up in California, right? So, and again,
fires, but I guess I don't know.
Oh, geez. So we discussed quite a few things. One of the things, Tony, that came in the conversation is for people who may be very sensitive to motion. What I'm going to end up doing is creating portals where you can jump from one pod to the next without having to actually do the walk. Because that's pretty. Oh, by the way, so one of a lot of the movements and the portals, all of that is coding. So I'm having to teach myself programming. Yeah, and they give you the sort of like the all the options, and so you pick and choose. But I mean, to create that one portal, it took me, and I was following YouTube videos and doing research. It took me like 2-3 hours, and maybe it's just me. I'm slow.
Yeah.
Are you agreeing that I'm slow?
You're learning one of the hardest languages.
I think you hit a good point there, Reggie, too, and that is right now as developing and trying to set up your own areas in these environments. It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time because that go-to that we have is YouTube, right? And there's not a lot there on YouTube.
No, not yet.
Of course, it reminds me a lot of the old, I would say the old days, but in the web development days when we all had to know HTML, and we were trying to figure it out, and then when folks could earn a bucket load of money being web designers, all the free help that was out there stopped. So we only have a short window of utilizing whatever is out there available to us to look at right now, and I don't think it's going to be out there for us very long. So being there learning now and trying to figure it out by yourself is really important, because that people are going to start making money charging
for sure
people, right?
For sure.
That's what we're in the business for too. So
for sure. But I think that once you start learning and playing with the different codes and the different sequences, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So anything else you want to add to the conversation?
We're really interested in learning, either how VR or other innovative ways that we can provide learning opportunities for our workforce. And a majority of our workforce is younger as well. So I think it's really important for us to keep learning new technology and just to be there for them.
Well, one thing about Anne, she's a super encouraging person on LinkedIn, by the way. So if you connect with Anne, she's gonna have like a word of encouragement. And thank you so much. I really appreciated your comments and your engagement.
You're welcome. Cool. I think it's important to be collaborative and supportive on social media in general, but particularly LinkedIn, and to connect with people that you might not meet otherwise. You may not live in the same area.
That's right. I'm very excited, and I'm so thankful that you all join me. I think Monica.
She had to step away. That spinning isn't going to help her nausea.
Monica gets a really rough. So anyway, thank you for joining me. We're gonna end up the podcast now. For those of you who are watching or listening, thank you so much for joining. We wanted to bring this experience to you. Hopefully it's the first of many. opportunities. And also, what I want to do is really start promoting, learning opportunities, right? And in this environment. So I invite many of you, to come and join us. As Tony said, right now, a lot of this is being given away for free. So take advantage of it, because, soon enough, right? We got to get paid somehow. And so, it may not be, so affordable in the near future. So, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.